Good morning, my dear students. Myself Navneet Kaur, and I am going to teach you English literature in your 7th class. And let's start with the new semester, second semester syllabus. And your first chapter in second syllabus is Getting Ready for Adventure. It's your 19th chapter on page number 118. So this chapter, Getting Ready for Adventure, is written by the author Miguel de Cervantes. Miguel de Cervantes was born in 1547 and died in 1616. He was from a small town in Spain. His adventures as a sailor become the basis for many of his stories. He wanted to write the stories related to chivalry, bravery, and his first writing was published in 1605. And his second part of Don Quixote was published in 1615, and here he write about the person, same he mentioned here about when we read about the author, and the person is Quixote. The name of the person is Quixote, Quixote, it is pronounced as Quixote. So it is the name of the central hero of this story. So let us start. It is an extract from Miguel de Cervantes' great novel about Don Quixote. Don Quixote, what type of man he is? He is an eccentric man. Eccentric, what is the meaning of eccentric? Uncommon. Means didn't have a common qualities like us, like other human beings. He fancied himself as a knight. He himself is nothing. He is less than the ability of a common human being, but he assumed himself as a knight. Do you know what is knight? Here is the picture. You can see. Knight means the person who fights with bravery in the wars and battles. Then other qualities of Don Quixote. He loved reading stories about knights. He loved to read the stories related to princess and magicians, enchanted spells. Enchanted means having a spell, like when you are having a spell on you, that was enchanted thing. In fact, he was just so absorbed in these fantasies that he slowly started to lose touch with reality. He's so much stuck in the deepness of his story characters that he himself think like that he is that particular character. He writes so many stories of knights, so many stories of bravery, and he assumed himself that I am a knight. Actually, he is not a knight, but he assumed himself and began to believe that he was one of the fiction heroes. He believed himself as one of the hero of famous novels of Shakespeare or anybody else. So let us start with the text of the content of the chapter. Many years ago there lived in Spain a very old-fashioned gentleman who was more than 50 years of age, underline his age 50 years, and quite tall and slender. His face was thin, underline this line, it's useful for you when you do your question answers. His face was thin, his nose was long, and his hair was turning grey. He had many odd ways and did so many strange things, and he is called the good Mr. Quixana. Some persons call him a good Mr. Quixana. In the hallway of his old-fashioned house, he saw an old rusty sword. Here is the picture of sword. Okay. So he saw a short rusty sword was always hanging and leaning against the wall, and a big rawhide shield. There was also a rusty lance and a big rawhide shield. Means some equipments which his father used in past when he fight in the battles or wars. That things he used. He saw. These weapons had belonged to his great grandfather also. Mr. Quixote spent almost all his time in reading stories of knights, daring deeds on battlefield. One day he said to himself, why should I always be plain farmer? Why always daily go to farm and do my farm work? Why I not like my great grandfather become a knight? But actually, if you want to become a knight, you physically also you want to be strong, and from heart you also be strong. But he don't have these qualities within him. So the first thing he did was to clean up an armor. What is an armor? Armor is this thing, a protective shield which we used to wear in the wars. That belonged to his great grandfather also and had been ages lying forgotten in the corner. No one taking care of old weapons. They are just to keep wherever great grandfather put. He polished it with a great care and cut some pieces of pasteboard to supply the missing part. He wants to repair these all. Sword, armor, and what is the third one? Helmet. Third one is helmet. Then he saw there was an old brass helmet too, and the straps for holding it was lost. Their straps are gone, damaged. But Mr. Quixote patched it up and found some green ribbons and served instead of straps. They used the green ribbons in order to tuck that helmet on his head. He held it up and felt very proud to think that his head would be adorned with so rare piece of workmanship. What is the meaning of adorned? Decorate. He think that I just wear this helmet on my head and I look so beautiful. He thinks that I decorate the helmet, but actually nothing like this. So now he needed a horse for every knight must. Three things he just get. And next he want a horse. For every knight must have a noble horse. And he thought the poor old creature in the barn. Then he think about his old horse which is there in his shed. Barn here means shed. He will carry me most gallantly. He think to himself, he talked to himself that that horse will carry me gallantly. My horse is also brave like me. Now I shall call myself Don Quixote. He cried to himself that I am going to call myself Don Quixote, a knight. And since my home is in the district of La Mancha, so people will call me Don Quixote de La Mancha. So he just want to show himself in a great manner. What a noble is the nobler than, nothing is nobler than that. So one morning Don Quixote put his armor and an old helmet. He wear everything. He took down the short sword and belted it to his side. He swung the leather shield upon his shoulder, went to barn and saddled his horse. He started his horse and started his journey that I am going to do some adventure. He want to do something adventurous so that people will call him a knight, a brave knight afterwards. Then he mounted and rode silently through the sleeping village and the quiet fields. I trust that I shall meet with some worthy adventure. He think to himself and like a little bit he talked to his horse also that people may see me. Definitely I will meet with some worthy adventure on my way. But he soon realized that he was not a knight, for one had conferred that honor upon him. And he think that one should respect him, give him honor, that he is a brave knight. He want that honor from somebody, that somebody put crown on him and give him garlands in order to show that you are a great knight. But he soon realized that no one noticed him on the way. Bad thing for him is that no one noticed him on the way. All village people are sleeping and some are busy in their work. Not that I shall never do, he cried. I will ride onward, and first worthy man that I meet shall make me knight. He think to himself that maybe I will continue my journey and maybe one person will meet me and he give me the honor. So he resumed his journey again, and hours passed, but neither man nor beast took note of a time. Neither man nor beast means no any human being, no any animal notice him, and he and his horse also don't have any idea of time, that how much time they spend in their journey. Then the horse, in the quest of sweeter grass, carried his master to the summit of a gentle hill. Now horse also feel hungry after the journey. There is a valley below him. Don Quixote saw a little inn by the roadside. What happens after that? Don see a inn at the roadside, and he take the decision to stop at that inn. How did I not say that we should have an adventure? He thinks that now definitely I will meet with some worthy adventure. He gathered up the reins. Reins here means straps which are used used for the horses. And later he gathered up reins and charged down the hill, imagining that the inn was the great castle with 4 towers and a deep moat and a drawbridge. So again his fantasy came, again his imagination came. Like it is a normal inn on the roadside, but what he think that it is a castle. He assumed that it is a big castle. See his imagination. Imagining the inn was a great castle with 4 towers and a deep moat. What is moat? I will tell you with the help of this picture. Like for example, this is a building and the watery area around the building is a moat, M-O-A-T, and this bridge is called a drawbridge. That bridge which link above the water with that castle, that is a drawbridge. So actually it was an inn, but he assumed it that it is a big castle. With the greatest joy in the world he rode onward to the door to inn. The innkeeper saw Don Quixote riding up. The innkeeper saw him and he went out to welcome him. Innkeeper immediately came out to welcome him. He was dying to laugh, but he was dying to laugh at the appearance. So all of you just think about his appearance. A patched helmet, not unfitted armor he weared, and he's looking so funny. So when innkeeper welcomed, he just laughed at his warlike appearance of his visitor. Sir Knight, he said, will you honor me by alighting from your horse? He said that, will you please allow me that I will help you, that you are just come down from your horse? I have no bed to offer you, but you shall have every other accommodation. He said that no bed is here, no any room is free there for you in my inn, but definitely I will give you some accommodation that you have to stay there. Don Quixote still supposed that the inn was a castle, that the innkeeper must be the governor. He said he supposed that inn was a castle, and also supposed that that innkeeper is the governor of the castle. Don Quixote still supposed that the inn was a castle, and so he answered in pompous tones. Pompous means when we show the things in an exaggerated manner, like thing is like this and we show it like it is too much. So pompous tone is a flashy grand way, and señor is a word used for Spanish for sir and mister. So Señor Castellano, he said that Señor Castellano, anything is enough for me. He said that he give the name to that person also from himself. Don Quixote give the name to innkeeper that you are a Señor Castellano. No bed is so sweet to me as a field of battle. Now show his exaggeration in his showy feelings that no bed is more than to me rather than a battlefield. Battlefield is best bed for me. You speak well, Sir Knight. Innkeeper said that, sir, you speak well. Sir, and he amused, he laughed inside because he speak opposite to whatever he is. Alight and enter. He held the stirrup well. Don Quixote dismounted. Dismounted means when you come down from your horse. Do good care of my steed. Steed is used for horse. He said to innkeeper that take care of my horse. There is not a finer horse in the universe. He said that not in a universe no any horse is too finer than mine horse. Actually it's a normal horse used in the farming. The innkeeper promised so and led the horse away to the stable. When the innkeeper returned, he found Don Quixote pulling off his armor. The helmet had been tied fast with the green ribbon that he is unable to put it off. Previously he put it like in hurry that I look so awesome. But what happens now, it's the time to took it off. It is very difficult for him because it is too much tightened with the help of ribbons. So never shall anyone harm those ribbons. Don Quixote said that after really trying to untie them, he was obliged to leave them as they were. He tried his best to off it, but he is unable to do this. So in a funny manner, he enclosed that old patched helmet as it was. Now, sir, said the innkeeper, will you want to have some food? I will indeed. It was hard for the poor man to get the food to his mouth. So he said that it was hard for a poor man to get food. So for his because he is poor in the manner that he is unable to put off his helmet actually, that's why he is unable to eat also. So when innkeeper provide him a food, he eat in such a funny manner that while wearing helmet he also eat. Such a silly manner he is doing all these things. He thought again came to him that he was not yet a knight. He stopped eating. The last poor morsel means last bite of your food was left untouched on the table before him. His appetite had left him. So alas, alas, he groaned, he cannot lawfully ride out on any adventure. Now he feels sad that he is not lawfully ride out any adventure. He didn't yet meet with some adventure, because only after doing some adventurous thing people call him knight. Until I have been dubbed as a knight. He arose and beckoned to the innkeeper to follow him to the barn. Barn is a shed area used for animals, or where you keep the fodder of cattle. I have something to say to you, he whispered. Then falling at the innkeeper's feet, he cried, Sir, I shall never rise from this place till you have promised to grant the boon. He bent like this in the front of innkeeper. That, sir, I am not getting off, or I am not stand till you promise with me that you honor me with a knighthood. The innkeeper didn't know what to do. Now innkeeper think that so many guests are there in the inn, what will he do? Because actually he is not a knight. How he honored him as a knight without any adventurous thing? The innkeeper didn't know what to do. He tried to raise the poor man up. He said that, please stand up. I promise name the wish to you, whatever you want to wish. But he said that you are too noble. He said to Don Quixote said to innkeeper that you are too kind, you are too nice, you are too noble. I knew you wouldn't refuse me. He said that I'll definitely know that you will not refuse me. Allow me to wash my armor in the chapel of your castle tonight and then in the morning. He said that allow me to wash my armor. I want to watch myself in front of the mirror of your inn, so that I'll feel that thing, a feeling of a knight. Then in the morning you will please honor me in front of the guest. And what shall I do in the morning? Innkeeper said to himself that what should I do in the morning? People will make fun of me that you give the honor of knighthood to just a silly man. Kind sir, he answered, do this, bestow on me the honor of knighthood. Bestow means present. And for I long to ride through every corner of the earth in the quest of adventures. Thus this I cannot do until after I have been dubbed as a knight. He said that I am not going to do adventurous things in my life until you dubbed me as a knight. Firstly you dubbed me as a knight, then afterwards people will call me a brave knight. The innkeeper smiled certainly. He said, arise, I will do, and I shall be very thankful to you. Now lead me to your chapel. I will wash my armor there, said Don Quixote. So what happens after that? I would gladly lead you there, but the present time there is no chapel. He said that at present time there is no chapel in my inn. Noble sir, since you have no chapel, but now then bring armor into the courtyard. So when he requested to the innkeeper to honor me in a chapel, but what the innkeeper said to him that there is no any chapel in my inn, I am not going to provide you a chapel area. Then he said that okay, then bring your armor into the courtyard of the castle, said the innkeeper. Guard it bravely until morning. He said that this is the act of bravery, that you will guard this armor up to the morning, no one harms it, and that the sunrise I will dub you as a knight. But stop, cried the innkeeper, have you any money? Not a penny, he answered. I am penniless. I have never read of any knight carrying money. He said that while I was reading the stories or adventures of a princess and knights, I didn't get the knowledge that these knights should carry money on their adventure, on the way of their adventure. Oh well, you are mistaken there. In this world, you will do nothing without money. The books you have read may not say anything about it. Innkeeper said that the books didn't tell you everything, whatever is going on in reality. That is because the authors never thought it worthwhile to write about such common things as a money. So he thinks that maybe the author didn't think so that to mention the money also in his writings. It doesn't look reasonable, agreed Don Quixote, but I never thought of it. Then let me advise you as a father advises his son. He said that as soon as you have been made a knight, ride homeward directly. Don't stay on the way or any stop. Just directly go to your home. Provide yourself with these necessary articles. What the innkeeper said to him, I will provide you with these necessary articles, but after I dubbed you as a knight, directly go to your home, so that people will not make fun of you. He carried his armor to the barnyard and laid it on the horse, and then he began to pace to and fro. He started to walk here and there in attention. He held his head high like a soldier on the duty. During the night, one of his guest mule driver tried to get water from the trough, but he said that you are trying to harm my armor. You are not came here for taking a water. You are trying to harm my armor. But just then the several guests gathered on their quarrel. When Don Quixote saw them coming, he braced himself with his shield and drew his sword, but he stood bravely at his post. Fling on, he cried, I dare you to come within my reach. Let me alone, said the innkeeper. He is a harmless fellow who wishes to become a knight. He has lost his senses through much of the reading. He said that, what the innkeeper gave the explanation to guest that Don Quixote lose his mental ability. He is now a psycho person. He is a harmless fellow who want to become a knight. Actually, he is having no ability. He is not a knight, but by reading so many things of so many adventurous things of knights, he assumed himself as a knight. Nothing can please me better. Don Quixote said that nothing can please me better than this. The innkeeper thereupon called his guests and servants to come and see. He requested guests, please come, just I want to dub him as a knight. The innkeeper pretended to read a chapter from the book. Actually, it is not any book, it is just a record of his, just a name of guests are there, but he showed to the guests that it is a great holy book. The innkeeper stood over him and mumbled some words without meaning. He gave Don Quixote a blow on the neck with his hand and slapped him on the back with the flat on his sword. So, arise, Sir Knight, thou art Don Quixote de la Mancha, a most valiant of men. He said that he is the most brave of all men in the world. Be always brave. He gave this statement, and after this he said that now you become a knight. I dubbed you as a knight. Now Don Quixote arose, feeling that he was now truly a knight. So this is all in the chapter. Means what you understand that Don Quixote actually not a knight, but he is an eccentric man. He feel his readings in his real life. So this is all in the chapter. Read it carefully and try to do the question answers. Thank you very much.